Good evening and welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus. Thanks first of all for receiving my last video so well. Didn't actually think anyone was going to be interested in that, but I'm glad that you were. So I thought let's have a little bit more work revising the letters, the Gospel of James from the Holy Bible. So as you know, I've been in debates recently and I've been coming up against people who have shown me spite and evil. And I know they don't mean it. These are good, loving people who for some reason are just upset by what I said. The truth that I showed them was sufficient to offend them, and in their offence, they forgot whose spirit they were coming in. And I feel like if we understand the Gospel of James here, the letters of James from the New Testament, we can know how to see this coming and how we should respond to it. So let's carry on with the Gospel of James. So first of all, I want to go back to verse 7, picking up from where we left off last time. So I'll just read you that quickly. Verse 7. For every kind of beasts and of birds and of serpents and the things in the sea are tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind, but the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. So let's think about what that must mean. For every kind of beasts and birds and serpents and things of the sea are tamed, and hath been tamed by mankind. So what James is telling us here is, we are the tamers of beasts, including serpents. So James is directly telling us here, although we know Satan is a dread foe, he's a terrifying, intelligent, devious creature, and he is well able to control us at his whim. If we have the Spirit of Christ and we stay close to Christ, we can tame him. We can be the tamers of Satan, the serpent. Every kind of beast and birds and of serpent, and even things of the sea. So when Satan is revealed in his full terror, the beast of the sea, the Leviathan, when he comes again and pretends to be Christ in the coming end times, we can even tame him at that point with the power of Christ. That's what this is telling us. This is a message of hope. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. So he's actually telling us here, our tongue is more powerful than the Leviathan. The human language and the tongues with which we speak those words is more powerful than Satan, even in his beast form, the Leviathan. We cannot tame our own tongues, and what that says to me, we need Christ's grace to control our own natures, because our own wild natures is actually more powerful than Satan. And if you think about it, that's why Satan cannot appear in life, because we just kill him. That's why he has to hide behind people and control them through the bridle of the evil words, through their tongue, and turn them about using deceit and trickery. If he just appeared in front of us, we'd just knock him out. He'd be done. So he won't do that. We are more powerful than Satan, but we need to be controlled with grace, and the source of that grace is Christ through this Holy Bible and through prayer. 9. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith we curse with men, which are made after the similitude of God. So if we break this down, what James is saying, our tongues, which are unruly evil, full of deadly poison, the evil words Satan's going to put in our mouths for us, with that tongue we bless God. We bless God with that same tongue we're going to use to whip our brothers with evil. Even the Father, and therefore we curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. So what that's saying is, if you have trouble being nice to your brothers, even when they're being horrible to you and they're punishing you for offending them, they are made in the image of God. So they're just as powerful as you. And you and your brothers are both more powerful than Satan. And that is why Satan wants to set you against each other. Because he can't destroy you without using your brother, and he can't make your brother turn against you without the bridle of the evil words that he is putting in your mouth. That's what this means. James is telling us here, we are made in the image of God, Satan is not. Satan is not made in the image of God. We are more powerful than him, and he requires our tongues in order to use against our brothers. He can't kill us. He can't damage us in any way without the use of our own tongues, and that's why this is so important to know. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith we curse also men, which are made in the similitude of God. We are like God's physical children, Satan is not. 10. Out of the same mouth proceeding blessings and cursings, my brethren, these things ought not so to be. That's like saying, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? James is kind of sarcastically replying here, retorting the evil words, saying, although you can do these things, Christ has given you free will, intelligence, he's given you that whipped tongue, which is more powerful than Satan, even in his beast form. You, watching this video now, you and the words you speak are more powerful than Satan's beast form, but you shouldn't use them against your brethren, and if you do, you ought not to. That's like a veiled warning, saying, if you are caught by God, being controlled by Satan, willingly saying evil words against your brothers, you are going to be in big trouble. So he's kind of sarcastically motioning towards, if you do that, when you've been alerted to it, or when you've alerted someone else to it, if they continue past that point, that's when the condemnation's going to get them. Because God will forgive your errors, but he won't forgive you willingly doing what he's told you not to do, i.e. allowing Satan to bridle your words. So don't. 11. Doth a fountain send forth at the same time sweet water and also bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine or figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and also fresh. I love this. This is so clever. So, we'll start at the beginning. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place both sweet water and bitter? So what he's saying there is, your mouth is the fountain of your words, and if you're sending forth poisonous, bitter words, it poisons your actual well of words. When you speak good things after you have spoken evil things, the evil is going to taint your good words, so you won't be able to speak good words. What he's saying there is, unless you wash your mouth of this evil poison through prayer and forgiveness and forgiving those who have offended you, you can't actually speak well. You can't say good things because they will not be true. That's what he's saying here. He's saying if you have an evil mind from Satan's taint, you need to get rid of that before you return to your good words. Before you speak to anyone, if you've said evil things, you need to go and pray and wash your mouth out. That's what that means. And then he goes on to say, can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine or figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. So he's telling you here, your mouth is a fig tree, my brethren. Figs are a tasty, nourishing fruit that grow off of the fig tree, which is a symbol of Christ's love in the Bible. So what he's saying there is, your tongue, when you're using it in the Spirit of Christ to speak only good words and recite things that Christ will be happy with, your words are a fig tree. The fruit that comes forth from your words is only going to be good. And that means you, with your powerful tongue that's more powerful than Satan, you can put fruit into the souls of others and they will become good men from hearing you speak, even though you might think you have no influence over them. When they go back into their lives, your good words will grow into a fruit within them and they will repeat your words because they were so impressed at a soul level with the good things that you say. So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. So he's saying, don't be salty. He's actually saying, if you speak with salty words, everything else that comes out of your mouth is going to have a bit of salt in there. Like, how clever is that? Don't be salty, because in future you will infect your good words. You'll get into the bad habit of saying evil words, and even when Satan is gone from you, his taint will remain. So you need to wash that out with prayer, Bible readings, being good and saying only good things, forgiving people. Then your mouth will be a fountain of fresh water. You will be the fig tree. You will be giving forth fruits of Christ through your own words and defeating Satan. That's what this is saying. 13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. I love this so much. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge amongst you? So James is saying, who amongst you is more wise than this? Who amongst you can come up with something better than what Christ has given you here? Put your hand up if you have something in your whole life that you've said that is better than this. You won't be able to. So, let him show out of good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. Recognize this is better than anything you can ever come up with or say. So if you let this lead you in the Spirit of Christ, when you come out with your own works, when you're deciding what you will say to others, that's you having a good conversation with the meekness of this great wisdom. You are speaking the truths of Christ. The great wisdom of God is coming out of your mouth, making you more powerful than Satan, even in his Leviathan beast form. And if you can do that with meekness, even though it's a great wisdom, then you will be considered by Jesus to be a wise man. Jesus is telling you how to be a wise man in his eyes through this page. And then we finish off verse 14 and 15. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, and glory not, and lie not against the truth, then wisdom descendeth not from above, but an earthly place, sensual and devilish. End of verse. What a fantastic end. So, if you speak the fruits of the fig tree, if you give people Christ's grace and love with your words, which will make you more powerful than Satan when you do it, you'll be able to banish Satan just with words. You won't need a sword, a gun, you won't need any weapons. Your weapon will be the sword of Christ, his word, this. If you use only this and you speak it in love, you can banish demons yourself. You don't need the Pope, you don't need saints, you don't need anything. You need Christ. And when you have Christ and you speak, you will pummel Satan. He'll run from you. You're more powerful than he is. That's what this is saying. But, here's the warning. If you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and you lie not against the truth. So if you are saying the right things but you're doing it for a bad reason, if you are using this Bible verse to attack someone rather than, coming in the Spirit of Christ, if you're using these wisdoms as an attack vector on your brothers, then you have bitter envying and strife in your heart, and glory not, and you're lying against the truth. If you do that, the wisdom that descendeth to you is not coming from Christ anymore, but is earthly, sensual and devilish. It's from Satan. So even though we know your tongue is more powerful than Satan, if you speak these words, you'll be a wise, powerful man or woman just from using this. If you think you're smarter than Jesus and you use this in a way he doesn't intend you to use it, if you want to try and shut someone down, attack them, or be horrible to them using this wisdom, you will be using unearthly, devilish wisdom. Satan has got the back of your head. He doesn't even need the bridle. He's behind you, making you use this to be evil. So the summary of this: no man can tame his own tongue. It's an unruly evil. But Christ's wisdom can. If you read this and you pray, keep close to Christ, you are even more powerful than the worst attack that Satan can give you. You're even more powerful than the Leviathan, the beast of the sea. But if you're not intending to use this to give people the fruit of wisdom of Christ, if you're not using your tongue as that fig tree to plant a good seed, what you are planting, God will burn away, because it will have descended not from above, but from earthly, sensual, devilish powers, which is Satan. So we know from this, Satan is of the earth, not of heaven. And that's how we know when we read our Quran, Allah came from the earth. He was a beast. Allah was a beast. Satan is a beast. He's not an angel. He's not a human. He's not God. He's a beast. He's like a pig or a dog or something that went wrong. And when he's devilishly, deviously trying to control you, you only need Christ's grace and words, and you can absolutely destroy him dead, and he will run from you. But if you let him control you, he will make you harm your brothers, and that's the sin you will draw condemnation for, and God will punish you for that. Not Satan, he will punish you for that. Whereas if you resist it, Satan's getting punished anyway for everything that he does, and that will be you that caused it, because you were the one that preached this to your brother and saved the soul of your brother through this. Read the Bible. I love this book so much. Anyone who is angry for any reason, especially if you're debating someone who you know, deep down you know this person is good. Why are they being evil to you? Why are they lying about you? Why are they sending you fiery, hateful words with the spirit of Satan, claiming to be in Christ's spirit? Why? It doesn't matter. They can't control their own tongue. Their unruly, evil tongue is full of deadly poison. It's the same tongue they used to bless God with. So the tongue isn't them. They're under control of Satan, and you want to reach them. So when you speak back to them, use God's wisdom. Don't speak back to their tongue. What that means is don't react to what they say. Take a step back, breathe in and out, think of Christ, speak to their soul. The part that God has made in similitude of himself, the part of God that they are made in the image of, is not the tongue. It's the spirit. So when you retort and you respond to these people, don't respond to what they say. You're not reacting to them, you are proactively giving them this. And you'll save them and you'll save yourself. And we will defeat Satan with words from here. So that's the end of this video. I really hope I made my point there. That is, please go and read the Gospel of James, the letters of James, and read the Gospel of Matthew. That's the root of this teaching. And you'll be blown away by it. It's amazing. So that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed that. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. And so we know Satan, or Allah, is just a dirty, filthy little beast, just a pig mucking around in its sty, whereas you and I, brothers, we are made in the image of God. We should not be divided. So that's all for now. God bless you all. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.